guys, so I was sitting down and I was responding to some comments on my day in the life video that I posted today. Today is actually Thursday. So anyhow, I was answering some of those and somebody asked, hey, you know, do you have any tips for reading? Because I showed a clip of Deacon reading at the end of the video and a note that he'd written himself. So anyways, I wanted to kind of follow up because I never actually did share how his parent-teacher conference went. And I found it was very enlightening, and it was very interesting. So I went into his conference fully expecting, so here's what I knew going in. Deacon struggles to write. He struggles to read. He's intimidated by, like more than maybe 6 words on the page. Writing more than 3 words in a sentence is like overwhelming to him. So I was expecting to go in there and have his teacher say all of that. And that was exactly not at all, it was completely opposite. He is in the top of his reading group in his grade. So he is kicking booty in the reading department. So he is in the highest reading groups. This is the part where I actually stopped and I looked over at him and I gave him the what the fuck face. Like, you kidding me right now? Homework at home is a nightmare. Like, it's a nightmare. It's a bloody nightmare. And this is like, every day I'm like, I am so glad I don't homeschool you, child. Like, we just fight about it. And getting him to do his homework it's like pulling teeth, and it creates hours of like just tension between us and anger, and it's just horrible. It's horrible, like absolutely horrible. So, and I viewed it as him struggling. So I was compassionate to that, and we did a lot together, but we sit down and we're like, you know, she's like, yeah, and here is his journal. Whenever they have extra time in class, I, you know, pass out their journals, and, you know, it's their writing journal. Like, they like to view it kind of as like a diary, like sharing, you know, personal experiences and things like that in this journal. This kid's writing pages and pages of detailed stories in his life. So remember after the garage sale, we went and he wanted to get that one, bow and arrow that was on clearance for $10, but instead he got the gun for $5 because he wanted to save his money. All the details of that entire trip written out, paragraphs. And I'm like, do you realize like what I would have to do to get him to do this at home? Like, it was just, she's like, you know what? She's like, I have a kid like this too. So we spent almost the entire parent-teacher conference discussing ways to get him to focus at home and ways for him to do what he's doing at school at home, because he just doesn't. And oh my gosh, I mean, if you guys can't understand my frustration, and this was from weeks ago, and I'm still like this, like riled up about it, because I really felt I was sure that he was struggling in some sense, but nope, not at all. And you know, I'm glad it's not the opposite. I mean, I'm thankful. I'm so thankful that it's not the opposite, and that I thought, you know, he was doing well and he was struggling, but it's been really hard. So now that I know of what he's capable of, and, you know, at the end of it, his teacher was like, Deacon, she's like, you can do this. And, you know, really talking to her about it, because I see her every day and I ask her, like, how's he doing? What's going on? And, you know, like little things, like I really try to like stay involved, but I had no idea. And, you know, I told her, and we had never like delved, you know, that deep into it and really like talked about it. But, so, yeah, and he got his report card the other day, and everything was like great. So they do it like they do like weird letters. I'm not even gonna try to explain it. It's ridiculous, and it changes from like kindergarten to like 1st grade to 2nd grade, and then 3rd grade it's different, and then finally I think like 3rd or 4th grade they get normal grades. It doesn't make sense to me. None of it does. Neither does that Common Core math. Like. It's so frustrating. Okay, guys, so through college, when I started college, I actually considered getting a degree in math. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but I loved math. And I mean, I did great, but this Common Core stuff, like, I mean, I have a math brain and it doesn't make sense to me. It's so bizarre. And I mean, there was one like, explain how you got that answer. And it's like, we already had pictures drawn out, but they wanted like the counting up method. So it's like, explain how you do it. I'm like, just trace your hand. We'll just do your whole entire handprint on the page. It's like, I don't know. I struggle with it. And like, I've asked the moms at football practice, I'm like, can you guys explain this to me? And I've asked his teacher and stuff like that. And like, when I'm doing like the teacher's manuals, like I'm making copies of things, I'm like reading it and I'm like, okay, I'm overthinking it essentially is the problem. So anyways, that's my own issue. Like I'm literally overthinking it. It is simple, but it's not, it doesn't work the way that my brain works. But, so I'm going to do a video. Maybe I'll do it, maybe instead of, yeah, I'll do it like next week or the following week. So this Monday I'll post lunches, and then the following Monday I'll post some of the really like cool activities we've been doing as far as like spelling words go. So I talked about, I think I mentioned it in one of my videos about how I'd been like quizzing him spelling words all the time. And we'd be walking down the hallway, I'm like, how do you spell witch? How do you spell crib? How do you spell this? You know what I mean? Or that, or whatever it may be. And I would do that. And he was like, Mom, enough! Like, quit asking me how to spell words. And I'm like, okay. And we started for one day, and he's like, I know them all already. And I'm like, all right, if you know them, then you know what? Let's see what you get on your test. And instead of getting his normal 12 out of 12, he got 8 out of 12. And I'm like, you don't. We're going back to what we were doing. He's like, Mom, no. Like, he's like, I'm so tired of you asking me. I'm like, okay, we'll do something different. So we've incorporated a whole bunch of different ways to practice spelling words and things like that. And I really want to share them with you guys because they're working. And they're working in a way that's even better than me asking him 1,000 times a day. Like, hey, how do you spell R? How do you spell this R? How do you spell that R? You know what I mean? So, I want to share that with you guys. But yeah, that was his parent-teacher conference, and it was just, I mean, it was a whole different level of frustration that I could have ever imagined. And I remember I probably just looked at him like so many times when she's telling me these things and like how good he is at all this stuff, and I'm just like what? Like, really? I mean, first grade has brought a whole different slew of problems. You know, the whole soap on the mirror incident, that was just ridiculous. What time is it? So yeah, that, and then, how long have we been recording? 8 minutes. And then, see, I got a new mirror. And what was the other thing? There was something else. Oh, he was like jabbing a pencil in the air. He got in trouble for that. What else? He did something else. Did I tell you guys about the field trip deal? When I gave him $10 for his field trip and he pocketed it and then lied about it? Yep. My kid is doing well academically, but having some problems in the lying department. I ran out of space. Is it on? No, it's upside down on my card. Anyways, yeah, he totally fibbed about that. So it was either you go on the field trip or you don't go on the field trip, or you pull money out of your saving, you know, out of your piggy bank. It was just, it's like, it's the year. I mean, it's just like it's just kids, I think, at this age often do it. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just, I don't think it's just mine. According to my friends, it's not just mine. It tends to be the normal, like, 6-year-old thing. I don't know, testing limits and boundaries and seeing what they can get away with, maybe. I don't know. So anyways, that was that. I'm proud of him. I am going to let him pick a fun place to eat dinner out as a, you know, way to go, bud. Good job on your grades. It's what I expect, but at the same time, you know, I'm proud of him. So I want it to be celebrated and to, you know, pat on the back. Attaboy. All right, we're going to go to football practice. It's our last practice. Oh, like what? I'm a little sad. And we're already talking about like, what are we going to do next? And Drake's going to start something. And I think Drake wants to do swimming and Deacon wants to do karate. Like, we couldn't pick the same thing on the same night that's like 30 minutes long. We'll see. But anyways, that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.